Commentary on the table in Figure 27. 1. Column of planetary signs. The planetary signs are represented in their primary forms, symbols, but firstly there is the sign of the elements and their influence. Remember the four animals of the rota? The sign for Saturn is a combination of the moon and the cross. The character of Saturn's influence is such that surroundings make a stronger impression on him than intuitional currents in consciousness. The reverse of this applies to Jupiter, and the accepted form of the symbol is also reversed. Mars, apart from the sign of the sun, also has an arrow, which shows us a particular way in which to receive vital fluids while under his influence. The arrow points to the fiery signs of the zodiac, which fortify the influx of the fluids. Everything received from Mars comes in a strong and unexpected form. The sign of the sun, symbol for all emanations of vital energy and the revitalizing fluids. The sign of Venus indicates that in her sphere of influence, the amount of vital force is more important than the surroundings or conditions. The synthetic sign of Mercury may be analyzed as sign of the moon, susceptibility. On the second plane, influx of vital fluids. Occupying the third position in the symbol signifies surroundings and their influence. Practically, an example can be given to make this theory more apparent. In the question of education, firstly, there is the ability of the pupil. Secondly, the quality of the school, caliber of the teachers, and thirdly, the surroundings of the pupil, such as his schoolmates and so on. The sign of the moon is the symbol for capacity, susceptibility, intuition, and ability to reflect on the fluids received. For the sake of interest, I would like to add that some astrologers give the sign of the earth as explained in the overwhelming importance in earthly life of conditions beyond the astral principle in man. Together with GOM and others, I will abstain from any comment connected with this matter. 2. Column of planetary angels. Only the most widely used names are given in this table. Some differences in spelling, which perhaps you may note, are due to different positions of the angels in the symbolism of Hebrew, Chaldean, and Syrian languages, plus some neologisms introduced by the Gnostic school. In this table under the term angel, I understand a joint influence, mental, of both angel and spirit, in that part, which can still be felt in the manifestations of earthly life. In order to clarify this table, I have to show the characters of the planets as they influence human life on all three planes. Here, I would like to add a very important statement. Planetary influences are not something unavoidable like fate. There is an axiom in astrology. Astra inclinant sed non necessantent, which is well known to all astrologers, but unfortunately, almost always practically forgotten. This means that planetary forces can only influence us by making some things more possible for us, so that our activities probably function according to astrological predictions. This is valid for all men of lower, instinctive, and impulsive natures. They do not possess much willpower of their own, independent of their moods and attitudes, and make little use of what they do have. Such men will surely feel the influence of the periods when one or another planet exerts a stronger one, and they will act accordingly. At the time of Mars, they will be more pugnacious or unbalanced, and therefore more violence can be expected during these periods, while at the time of the influence of Venus, love affairs will probably flourish, and so on. Things are simple. But, for those who direct, or at least try to direct their lives in another, more reasonable pattern, and in whom willpower is far more developed, as well as knowledge of emotional techniques, astrology has much less to offer, except that at some times they will experience such and such temptations and inclinations to do things in one way and not another. However, in the case of the impulsive type of man, the result cannot be predicted. Therefore, for a strong man, astrology is of much less value than for weaklings. Great masters and advanced occultists do not concern themselves with astrology at all. So you may do similarly if you are one of those aforementioned types. Saturn. In the mental plane, he represents the idea of the invariability of logical laws. In the astral, he oppresses us with reminders about the hardness of karmic laws. On the physical plane, he dictates material experiences, melancholy moods, anxiety, and often extreme parsimony. Jupiter. Mentally, he teaches us about the necessity of using systematic actions and thinking under all conditions. In the astral, he creates and sustains authority. On the physical, he sows justice, and respects and supports administrative talents and abilities. Mars. In the mental plane, he reminds us about the possibility of acceleration and strengthening of processes. In the astral, he suggests virility and rigidity, which on the physical plane may support all violent, angry, and uncontrolled actions. Sun. In the mental gives us all kind of active influxes, which in the astral suggest a taste for forms, as well as desire to partake with others of the fruits of our activities in that realm. On the physical plane, the sun creates a taste for art, generosity, and distaste in vulgar things. Venus is the representative of universal attraction in all its forms. In the astral, this means everything which we call love. In the physical world, she signifies the material side of attraction, which needs no further explanation. Mercury. In the mental realm, he teaches us to adapt ourselves to ideas. In the astral, he suggests vivid desires, and the ability to change them, while on the physical, he is the father of all business and speculation, as well as the versatility in us. The Moon. As mother of the world, is susceptible to mental influxes, intuitional in the astral realm, and in the physical one, the manifestation of such things in the form of moodiness, inclination to certain kinds of clairvoyance, and submission to suggestions and fatalism, or faith in destiny.